Hello, everyone. This is Talk Time with Cynthia. I'm coming today, and I want to tell you a little bit about living in the South. So, I got my little notepad here because I want to stay a little structured. Because my daughter was telling me, "Mama, you're all over the place." So, I'm trying to make sure I'm not all over the place, and I look like I got know what I'm doing a little bit, even though I'm new at this. I'm still a work in progress. Okay. So, talking about our southern language, how we got that southern drawl. I know we say over there. What else? Instead of saying, "Did you hear me?" we say, "Did you hear me? Did you hear that?" You know, and stuff like that. Growing up, What else? Oh, and then we had names for certain objects too. I remember we used to call a sofa a settee, the settee, and we used to call soda water, soda water, and that's Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell y'all, I'm from Madison, Florida, and it's right below the Panhandle. So a lot of times when you hear us speak, you might hear that we sound sort of like the people from Georgia instead of the people from Florida. So it's so close right there together. It's right close together. Like we right under Valdosta, Georgia. So, and then what else we used to say? Did I say the frying pan? We used to call a frying pan a spider. And then I looked it up online, and come to find out the spider is this cast down skillet, but it has like 3 long legs about that long, and it sits on 3 legs. But I guess back in the South, if it's a frying pan, it's a spider. Oh, and then we used to call the spigot. I mean the faucet outside, we call it the spigot. I don't know if y'all got some things, if y'all from the South and y'all got some things that y'all used to say relating to where y'all came from in the South, let me know. Comment down below. And if you're not from the South and you're from somewhere else and y'all got some things that y'all used to say, like some people we call it soda water, a soda, we call soda water. Some people call it a pop. And then like some people like like if you from New York, some people call the laundromat the Bendix. So it's a lot of difference between us, depending on where we're from. So yeah, and that's what we used to do. We just had different names for different things. And coming from the South, we could really mess it up real bad or real good. It was real good for me. I don't want to talk about the South because that's where I'm from. So don't y'all come talking about the South now, because I got to represent who y'all, right? Got to represent. So, but yeah, and then I used to live out in the country, because you have in town, then you have country. It's still all the country. You know what I mean? We all Southern folk with them twang accents or whatever. But you got places where a little bit more modern than the place out in the country. We lived out in the country for a long time. And so living in the country, we used to pick not blueberry, but blackberries, right, straight from the bush. And we had wild strawberries. We had what else we had? Plums. We had grapes out there. We had apricot, some wild peaches. We had all kind of stuff we used to just be able to pick out there. And I don't know if y'all remember that grass that it was like I forget what that grass was called. It grew long but then it had like these red seeds on them, and you take it and you chew it, and it would be real bitter, and you chew it and chew it, you chew all the bitter. It almost tasted sort of salty, like almost like a lemony salty. So I forget what that was called, what we call that. And then I remember, and what we did for fun, we used to catch dragonflies. We caught grasshoppers, and we didn't call them dragonflies. We called them mosquito hawks. Yeah, I'm telling you, we had some. We can fix it up for you if you needed us to. We call them mosquito hawks, and then not even mosquito hawks, and we call mosquitoes. So yeah, we had some ways that we said some things, but and then like we used to grow our own gardening. We did our own gardening, and we used to have like so many fresh vegetables. My mom and her boyfriend used to grow okra, squash, bell peppers, wild onions, regular onions. What is that other one? Jalapeno peppers, collard greens, cabbage, lettuce. I mean, anything you could name, it was out there in that garden. And so we ate off the land, so we rarely ever got sick, because we always had the fresh, healthy vegetables. And then for our meats and stuff, we used to, eat off the land. So I hope I don't offend nobody, get the right people started. But we used to eat birds, raccoon, possum, just wild, just wild stuff, rabbits off the land. So it kept the grocery bill down. And then my mama had 7 of us. My younger sister, she died when she was 3 months old. But it was 7 of us. So she did what she had to do to but to feed us. Because I know before she stopped working, my mama worked at a restaurant. She worked at a just to take care of us. She worked at a restaurant. She worked at a convalescent home where you take care of old people. She did that. She worked in the field. She picked cotton, tobacco. We were true Southerners. I mean, we was deep in the South, just true Southerners. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's how we lived before we moved to the city. And I'll tell you about that a little bit further into this. And we used to live in this place called Rockaway. We loved where we lived. We used to play down in there. It was like down in like a alley, I guess you can call it. But it was bushes instead. And just picture this, a row of bushes right down in the middle. On either side of that row of bushes, we had houses on one side and houses on the other side. And then when you went down that one side, it goes all the way straight through down around to the other side of that thing of bushes. So, and it was none but family down up in there. So we used to enjoy living there, and we looked out for each other and we took care of each other, and just kind of different from now. I really miss the South, because now it's just like people move away from their family, and families suffer when that happens. They really suffer, because the way we looked out for each other and we taught each other what we knew, and we made sure each other kind of stayed on track to do whatever it is that they needed to do, to stay out of trouble. So, but yeah, so that's what we did. And then I remember talking about food. I remember Aunt Essie. That was my sister Wendy's aunt. and she used to make her own sugar cane. I mean, a home syrup from sugar cane, and it was called we used to call it Karo syrup. I don't know if that's the correct name for it, but she used to make that. Then she would cook like whole cakes of cornbread, but she would do the small one. My mom would do the really big one, but she would do the small one. Excuse me. And then she would fry up some bacon and some sausage, and then she would sit us down and we eat. And it'd be like early in the morning. She sit us down and we eat. And boy, you talking about the best thing. I can still remember the taste of that night. And I have never seen anybody tasting anybody with syrup as good as hers. So, but yeah. And like with my mom talking about whole cakes. I don't know if I said it before, but talk about whole cakes. My mom used to take and do whole cakes of cornbread on top of the stove. And my mama was so good at it, she would take a butter knife and scoop it under there and been able to just flip that whole cake over with a butter knife. I promise you I ain't lying. It sounds crazy, but she used to do it. I don't know if y'all moms was able to do that. I'm pretty sure. But my mom was. Because you know when you have, you don't have much means or whatever, you figure out how to do things and you perfect it. You know what I mean? So, and you know, the difference between the living in the country and living in the city. In the country, we use the outhouse. We had wells. We used to have to get well water, pump the well. You know how you have to prime the well, put the water in the well, and then once you put that water in there, you pump it. And that's called priming the well, and then the water starts flowing, and then you get your water for your bath, and we used to use pans to bathe in and stuff when we was little. And I guess you're wondering how old I am. Well, I'm 51 years old, and we lived that southern life. And that didn't bother us. The outhouse, the well water, the walking barefoot outside. It didn't bother us. We enjoyed it immensely because it was a life of less stress and it was more peaceful. Like now you're trying to acquire everything in life. I mean, you're trying to acquire this, the simple things we enjoyed out there in the country. And so but yeah, so, but in the city, you know, you get the bathtub, and you got the toilet and all that. But then all of that came with the responsibility of having a bill or whatever, and we didn't have to do all that when we grew up. So, but you know, time changes, so you have to change with it. That's all I know. But right now today, I still miss it right now today. And then like moving from the country to the city. I remember when we used to live in the country, my mama would call my brother, and she would call him in a very distinct way. And so we didn't see no problem with it when we was living out in the country. So one day, my mama commenced to call my brother in the city. And the way she called my brother in the city was the way she called my brother in the country. So I'm going to give you an example of how my mama used to call my brother in the country, and she did it in the city. And my brother named Andre. She would say, Andre, ooh, Andre, ooh. Man, his friends had a ball with that one. They fell on the ground, rolling around. My brother said, Mama, please don't do that no more. Please. I mean, it was funny, you know. I mean, it wasn't no big deal out in the country because, shoot, we hear that. We be far off in the bushes in the woods somewhere. that'll bounce off a tree or whatever. We get home, you know what I mean? But not in the city. In the city, boy, they was like, really? Really? So yeah. But yeah, we things were different in the city for sure. And then we moved from Madison and we moved to Melbourne, Florida. Not Melbourne, no. We moved to actually Lake City, Florida. We moved to Lake City, Florida. And then after we did that, we moved back to Madison, and then we moved back to Madison. Then I moved living with my sister that lives here now. And then I lived with her for a while. Then I ended up getting my own place, whatever. But moving from Madison, basically, to Melbourne, even living in Lake City, we didn't experience a whole lot of, like, racism. I ain't saying it wasn't none, but I never really, I don't know. I never really just, I keep going too far with this camera. Let me get it down some. I never really knew that a person could look at you and hate you, not knowing you, not experience who you are, and just hate you. I never knew that was that type of thing was possible, because where I'm from, people was peaceful, they was respectful, they just they in some way had dignity enough to be like, you know what, they human beings like me. I might not can relate to them on a higher level or whatever, but they just respected you. When we was on the streets or whatever, when we go go to town, but you know, go leave the country to go to town, we all would just speak, because that's the neighborly, decent, humane thing to do. It's just the human thing to do is just speak, be decent and kind to people, and everybody was helpful one to another. You know, we weren't looking at nobody and judging them for what they look like as to how we were gonna treat them. We just tried to. Maybe I was just too young to realize that certain things went on. But I never, like I said, I never experienced that till I got here. But you know, you learn to adjust, you know, and even here on the streets, they don't speak. And when I first came here, I was like, hey, how you doing? Walked right past me. Boy, that was such a shock. Because you didn't pass somebody on the street where I'm from and not speak to them. You know? Because that was just like a common courtesy. Something that was so basic as speaking to somebody, greeting somebody, saying have a nice day, open the door for somebody, helping an older person, just being human, basically. But I don't know. Like I say, when it comes to stuff like that, you just like to have to let it roll off your back. Just allow yourself to realize that, because sometimes you can get caught up in that, but you just have to allow yourself to realize that it ain't you, it's them. Like they don't have no home training, they weren't raised right. But as long as you maintain who you are and not let the way people is change who you is, and that's the basic thing. And be the change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see in other people. Period. And that's all. And that's key, you know? So that's basically everything I want to talk about myself. Maybe I'll come back and share some more stuff about my country, but but I love being me. I love being kind. I love being sweet. I'm very helpful. I just have deep love for people. I don't know. I just feel like you should see people at face value. Cause I'm real quick to feel like if somebody don't like me, I feel like maybe you know, maybe I feel the same way, but sometimes you can't be like that. Sometimes you have to just say, hey, maybe that day they going through something, or they dealing with some kind of situation or whatever, and then you just if you could be a help, be a help. If that's that person that just don't want your help or don't want to be around you, then you just keep it moving, and you just show love and kindness, to the people who want love and kindness, and you'll be surprised who you reach out to that'll reach out back to you. Just start to initiate that, because we got to make a difference and a change in this world, because the way the world is now is really sad. But just I just want to challenge y'all to be the first to say, hey, hello, how you doing, and don't feel like that person have to speak to you first, whether they white, black, Korean, Asian, whatever race they is. You be the first to speak to them and be open to whatever that change mean in that situation. So anyway, I enjoyed talking to you guys, and I love you guys so much. And don't forget to subscribe and like and share my video, and give me a thumbs up if you like my content or like this video. And if you decide to give me a thumbs down, let me know why you giving me a thumbs down. Maybe it's something I can improve upon. No situation is ever perfect, but I appreciate y'all hanging tight with me. And I talk at y'all next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.